Identify the vertex. F of x equals x minus 1 squared plus 2. Note that we have a general form of a function, which is x minus h squared plus k, where the vertex is h comma k. So here we have h, which is 1, and k, which is 2. So our answer is 1, 2. Identify the vertex. F of x equals x plus 3 squared minus 8. We have a function in general form, which is f of x equals x plus h squared minus plus k. Where negative h, k, is the vertex. So here we have positive 3, so the answer will be negative 3 for the x-coordinate and negative 8 for k. So the answer is negative 3 comma negative 8. Find the x-intercept, the y-intercept, and the vertex. Determine whether the graph opens up or down. Find the axis of symmetry and graph the function. First, let's find the x-intercept. X-intercept is found by setting y equals 0. So 0 equals x squared minus 4x minus 5. Then we can factor the right-hand side. So we have x plus 1 times x minus 1 minus 5 equals 0. So let each factor equals 0 and so for x. So x equals negative 1 and x equals 5. So the x-intercept is negative 1 comma 0 and 5 comma 0. Y-intercept is found by setting x equals 0. So y equals 0 squared minus 4 times 0 minus 5, which is 0 minus 0 minus 5. So the answer is negative 5. So the y-intercept will be 0 comma negative 5. The vertex is found by using the formula x equals negative b over 2a to find x-coordinate of the vertex. So negative b, which is negative 4, over 2 times 1, which is a positive 4 over 2, which is 2. To find the corresponding y, we have to substitute the 2 into the original function. So y equals 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 5. So it will be 4 minus 8 minus 5. So it will be negative 9. So the vertex will be 2 comma negative 9. The axis of symmetry will be the x-coordinate of the vertex, so the answer will be x equals 2. Now, since a is 1, which is greater than 0, we know the graph will open up. So now let's graph. First, we can plot the x-intercepts, which are negative 1, 0, and 5 comma 0. In y-intercept, will be 0, -5. The vertex is 2, -9, so we go down by 9. So we draw right here. And axis of symmetry will be x equals 2, so that is a vertical line. So we can make a parabola that goes for all 4 points. What dimensions will yield the maximum area for a rectangle or perimeter 60 inches? The perimeter is 60 inches. Since we don't know the length and the width, we can let the length equals x and width equals y. So the perimeter is given by 2x plus 2y, which is 60. So basically x plus y equals 30. And since we want to maximize the area of the rectangle, we want to find xy, that is the maximum. Now first, we're going to solve the first equation for either x or y. Here I choose to solve for x, for y. So y equals 30 minus x. Then you're going to substitute that into the second expression, which is xy. So we have x times 30 minus x. This is going to be the area function, which is x times 30 minus x. By distributing, we have 30x minus x squared. By arranging the polynomial, you get negative x squared plus 30x. Since a is -1, which is less than 0, we know the parabola is going to be opening down, so we can find the maximum by finding the vertex of the parabola. So the vertex, which is given by x equals negative b over 2a, is negative b, which is 30, over 2 times negative 1. So the answer will be 15 for x. And the corresponding area, which is in this case y, will be 15 times 30 minus 15. So the 15 times 15. So the answer will be 225. So the dimension will be 15 inches for the x, so it means the length, and also 50 inches for the width, since x plus y equals 30. Determine the number of a real solution. First, we want the general form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So I'm going to move the 6 to the other side. So we have 2x squared plus 3x minus 6 equals 0. Now to find the number of real solutions, we just have to use the determinant, which is b squared minus 4ac. So this will be 3 squared minus 4 times 2 times c, which is negative 6. So that is 9 plus 48. So that will be 57. Notice that 57 is greater than 0. So we have two real solutions. Solve by the square root property. 2a minus 5 squared equals 12. So by using the square root property, we're going to take a square root on both sides and make sure you put a plus minus in front of the square root of 12. So by taking square root, you get 2a minus 5 on the left hand side, and on the right hand side we have the plus minus 12, a radical 12. The radical 12 could be written as the radical 4 times 3, which is same as 2 radical 3. So we have 2a minus 5 equals the plus minus 2 radical 3. To solve for a, we're going to add 5 on both sides. We have 2a equals 5 plus minus 2 radical 3. By dividing 2 by 2, we get a equals 5 plus minus 2 radical 3 over 2 as the answer. Solve by the square root property. X plus 1/2 squared equals 4 over 9. By taking square root on both sides, and don't forget plus minus in front of radical 4 over 9, we have x plus 1/2 on the left hand side, and the right hand side we have the radical 4 over 9, which is same as the plus minus 2 over 3. So to find x, subtract 1/2 from both sides, so we have x equals negative 1/2 plus minus 2/3. So we have two answers. One is negative 1/2 plus 2/3, which is same as negative 3 over 6 plus 4 over 6. So that will be 1 over 6. And the other one will be negative 1/2 minus 2/3, which will give us negative 3 over 6 minus 4 over 6. The answer will be negative 7/6. Solve by the square root property. A plus 4 squared plus 45 equals 0. First, we have to move the 45 on the other side to isolate the square term. So we have a plus 4 squared equals negative 45. Then we're ready to take a square root on both sides. So we have a plus 4 on the left, and on the right we have plus minus the square root of negative 45. Now the square root of negative 45 is given by square root of negative 1 times square root of 45, where square root of negative 1 is I, which is an imaginary number, or times the square root of 45. Now square root of 45 could be reduced, so that can be written as 9 times 5. So we have I times 3 times radical 5. So a plus 4 equals plus minus 3i radical 5. So by subtracting 4 from both sides, we have a equals negative 4 plus minus 3i radical 5. Solve by completing the square. X squared plus 6x plus 7 equals 0. First, we have to make sure that a equals 1, which it is in this problem. Then, what we're going to do first is to move the constant term on the right-hand side. So we have x squared plus 6x equals negative 7. Then we take a half of the coefficient of x, which is actually b, half of b, which will give us 3. And then we're going to square it, which will give us 9. So that is the number that we are adding on both sides. So we have x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals negative 7 plus 9. So we can complete the squared for x squared plus 6x plus 9. So we have x plus 3 squared on the left-hand side. The 3 came from the half of the b. That equals 2. Then we take a square root on both sides. So on the left-hand side we have x plus 3 equals the plus minus the radical 2. By subtracting 3 from both sides, we have x equals negative 3 plus minus the radical 2. Solve by completing the square. Since a is 2, we're going to divide all terms by 2 so that we have a equals 1. So z squared minus 7 halves z minus 2 equals 0. Now we move the constant term on the right hand side, so we have z squared minus 7 halves z equals 2. Then we take a half of b, which is negative 7 halves divided by 2, which is negative 7/4. And then we're going to square the negative 7/4. That is 49 over 16. That's the number we're adding on both sides. The negative 7/4 is really critical since we are going to use a number later on when we're completing the square. So we have z squared minus 7 halves z plus 49 over 16 equals 2 plus 49 over 16. To complete the square, basically you can factor a trinomial, but since we have fractions, it will be a little bit tricky. So to make our factoring easier, you just have to copy down the half of b we just found, which is negative 7/4, inside the parentheses, and we square it, and that will be the answer. Equals 2 plus 49 over 16, so it will be 32 over 16 plus 49 over 16. So that will give us 81 over 16. So then, by taking square root on both sides, we have z minus 7/4 equals plus minus radical 81 over 16, which is z minus 7/4 equals plus minus 9/4. So we have z equals 7/4 plus 9/4. So we have two answers. One is 7/4 plus 9/4, which is 16/4, which is 4. The other one will be 7/4 minus 9/4, which is negative 2/4. So the answer is negative 1/2. So 4 and negative 1/2 are the answers. Solved by the quadratic formula. 2x squared plus 4x plus 1 equals 0. Quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus minus b square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, and this formula must be used for equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So our equation is 2x squared plus 4x plus 1 equals 0. So our a is 2, our b is 4, and our c is 1. So by plugging these numbers into the formula, we have x equals negative 4 plus minus b squared, which is 4 squared, minus 4 times 2 times 1 over 2 times 2. So negative 4 plus minus 16 minus 8 over 4. So it will be negative 4 plus minus the radical 8 over 4. Now the square root of 8 could be written as the square root of 4 times 2, which is 2 radical 2. So we have negative 4 plus minus 2 radical 2 over 4. So by simplifying, we have answer negative 2 plus minus radical 2 over 2. Solved by the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula is given by x equals negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. For general equation, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. A in our equation is 7, and 4 is our b, and c is our 3. So by plugging these numbers into the equation formula, we have x equals negative 4 plus minus b squared, which is 4 squared, minus 4 times 7 times 3 over 2 times a, which is 7. So we have negative 4 plus minus 16 minus 84 over 14. So we have negative 4 plus minus the square root of negative 68 over 14. Now, the square root of negative 68 is given by the negative square root of negative 1 times square root of 68, which is I square root of 68. And you can reduce the square root of 68 by four times 17. So that will be 2i square root of 17 over 14. By reducing the coefficients, we have the answer negative 2 plus minus I radical 17 over 7. Solved by the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula is given by x equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. For the equation ax squared plus 2bx plus c equals 0. Since our equation is not in general form, we have to move 5 on the other side. So 2x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0. Then we can use the formula, where our a is 2, a 4 is b, and c is negative 5. So x equals negative 4 plus minus 4 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 5 over 2 times 2. So negative 4 plus minus 16 plus 40 over 4. So it will be negative 4 plus minus radical 56 over 4. So the radical 56 is given by radical 4 times 14. So that is 2 radical 14. So we have negative 4 plus minus 2 radical 14 over 4. So by reducing, we have negative 2 plus minus radical 14 over 2. That's the answer. Solve. R to the 4th power minus 8r squared equals negative 15. First, we're going to move the negative 15 on the other side by adding 15 on both sides. So we have r to the 4th power minus 8r squared plus 15 equals 0. Now let x be r squared, so that x squared will be r to the 4th power. So we're going to rewrite the equation in terms of x and x squared. So we have x squared minus 8x plus 15 equals 0. Since we have a quadratic equation, we can factor the equation by x minus 3 times x minus 5 equals 0. So x minus 3 equals 0, where x equals 3, and x minus 5 equals 0, so x equals 5. Now since we set x equals r squared, we're going to substitute r squared back, so our r squared equals 3. So to find r, we're going to take a square root on both sides, so we get plus minus radical 3. And for x equals 5, again, our x was r squared, so that is equal to 5. So the r will be the plus minus radical 5. So the answer will be plus minus radical 3 and plus minus radical 5. Solve. 6b to the negative 2 minus 5b to the negative 1 plus 1 equals 0. First, we're going to let b to the negative 1 equals x. So b to the negative 2 will be x squared. Now we're going to rewrite the equation in terms of x squared and x. So we have x 6x squared minus 5x plus 1 equals 0. And we can factor. So we have 3x minus 1 times 2x minus 1 equals 0. So the 3x minus 1 equals 0. Then 3x equals 1. So the x equals 1/3. But x was b to the negative 1. So b to the negative 1 is 1/3. So to find b, we're going to take a power of negative 1 on both sides. So we can cancel the 1s. So we have b equals 1/3 to the negative 1, which is a 3. 2x minus 1 equals 0. So 2x equals 1. So x is 1/2. Now again, b to the negative 1 is 1/2. So to get rid of the negative 1, we're going to take a power of negative on both sides, so we can cancel the negative 1. So the b will be 1/2 negative to the negative 1's power, so it will be 2. Solve. X to the 2/3 equals 2 times x to the 1/3 plus 3. First, we're going to move the right-hand side terms to the left-hand side. So we have x to the 2/3 minus 2 times x to the 1/3 minus 3 equals 0. Now we're going to let y equals x to the 1/3, so that y squared is x to the 2/3. So we're going to rewrite the equation in terms of y's. So we have y squared minus 2y minus 3 equals 0. So we can easily factor the left-hand side. So we have 1 y plus 1 times y minus 3 equals 0. So y plus 1 equals 0. So y equals negative 1. Now our y was x to the 1/3. So x to the 1/3 equals negative 1. So to get rid of 1/3 to find x, you're going to cube both sides. So the exponent is gone. So we have x equals negative 1. Now y minus 3 equals 0, so y equals 3, and again our y was x to the 1/3, so that is 3. So to get rid of 1/3, we're going to cube both sides. So we have x equals 3 cubed, which is 27. So the answers are x equals negative 1 and 27. Solve by substitution. 2 times 3x minus 4 squared plus 3x minus 4 minus 1 equals 0. So we're going to let y be 3x minus 4. So that y squared will be 3x minus 4 squared. Now we're going to rewrite the equation in terms of y's. So we have 2y squared plus y minus 1 equals 0. And we're going to factor. So we have 2y minus 1 times y plus 1 equals 0. So 2y minus 1 equals 0. So 2y equals 1. So the y equals 1/2. But our y was 3x minus 4. So 3x minus 4 equals 1/2. So 3x equals 1/2 plus 4, which is 1/2 plus 8 over 2, which is 9/2. So by dividing both sides by 3, we get x equals 3/2. Now y plus 1 equals 0, so y equals -1. So 3x minus 4 equals -1. So to find x, we add 4 to both sides, so we get 3x equals 3, so x equals 1. So the answer will be x equals 3/2 and 1. Write a function that has the following solutions. So note that if we have f of x equals x minus a times x minus b, the solutions are a and b. So since you are given solutions which are negative radical 3 and radical 3, our function must be x minus radical 3 times x plus radical 3. Then we're going to distribute by using FOIL. We get x squared plus radical 3x minus radical 3x minus radical 3 squared. So the inside terms are gone, so we have x squared minus 3. Solve and write the solution in interval notation. First, we're going to equate 3x plus 4 equals 0 and 2x minus 1 equals 0, and we're going to solve for x. So 3x equals -4 and x equals -4/3. And 2x equals 1, so x equals 1/2. So these points are called boundary points. So we have -4/3, so it would be right here, and 1/2, so it will be right there. So notice that we have 3 intervals. First one is less than -4/3, and second one will be in between -4/3 and 1/2, and third interval will be that is greater than 1/2. So what we're going to do is to pick any point that is within each interval. So from interval 1, we can choose the -2 as a test point. And from interval 2, we can choose 0 as a test point. Try to choose an easy point. So from interval 3, we can choose 1 as a test point. So by plugging -2 into the original inequality, we get 3 times -2 plus 4 over 2 times -2 minus 1, which is -6 plus 4 over -4 minus 1. So -2 over -5, that is 2/5, is less than or equal to 0. And that is a wrong statement, so the interval gives us a false statement. The second test point, which is 0, will give us 3 times 0 plus 4 over 2 times 0 minus 1, which is 4 over -1, which is -4. That is less than or equal to 0. So that will give us a true statement. The last test point will give us 3 times 1 plus 4 over 2 times 1 minus 1. So it will be 7 over 1, which is 7. that is not less than or equal to 0, so it's also a false statement. So their answer falls within the second interval. So our answer will be from negative 4/3 to 1/2, but 1/2 should not be included because that will give the expression undefined. Solve and write the solution in interval notation. 2x squared plus 4x minus 5 is less than or equal to 0. So first, we're going to solve 2x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0 to find the boundary point. So by using quadratic formula, we have negative 4 plus minus b squared, 4 squared, minus 4 times 2 times negative 5 over 2 times 2. So it will be negative 4 plus minus 16 plus 40 over 4. So it will be negative 4 plus minus the square root of 56 over 4. 56 could be written as 4 times 14. So negative 4 plus minus 2 radical 14 over 4. So by reducing, we have negative 2 plus minus radical 14 over 4. So we have two boundary points. One is negative 2 minus radical 14 over 4. That is definitely less than 0. And negative 2 plus radical 14 over 4, that is greater than 0. Since inequality says less than 0, so we're talking about the within the interval. So the answer will be negative 2 minus radical 14 over 4, comma, negative 2 plus radical 14 over 4, parentheses. A model rocket will be launched from a hill 80 feet above the sea level. The launch site is next to the ocean sea level, and the rocket will fall into the ocean. The rocket's distance s above sea level at any time t is found by the equation. Find the time it takes for the rocket to strike the ocean. The equation is f of t equals negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 80. So when the rocket strikes the ocean, the distance s will be 0. So we set the s naught t, which is the s, the distance, equals 0. So negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 80 equals 0. And we're going to solve the corresponding t's for that. So first, we're going to divide both sides by negative 16. So we have t squared minus 4t minus 5. So by factoring, we have t plus 1 times t minus 5 equals 0. So t equals negative 1 or 5. Well, time cannot be negative, so the answer will be 5 seconds. Frank drove a distance of 300 miles one way. The round trip took him 11 hours. If he averaged 10 miles faster on his return trip, find his average speed going and returning. First, we're going to make a chart. The first row is for going, and the bottom one will be coming back. And we have distance equals rate times time. And since one way is 300 miles, so we have 300 miles for both going and coming back. And now he averaged 10 miles per hour faster on his return trip. If we let the speed for going equals x, then the coming back speed will be x plus 10. Now we can find the time with using the distance and the rate. So we have 300x for the going, and we have 300 divided by x plus 10 for the coming back. When you add these two times, he took a total of 11 hours. So first, you're going to find LCD, which is x times x plus 10. So that's where you multiply both sides. So we have 300x plus 10 plus 300x equals 11x times x plus 10. So we have 300x plus 3000 plus 300x equals 11x squared plus 110x. By simplifying, we have 11x squared minus 490x minus 3000 equals 0. So we can factor that as 11x plus 60 times x minus 50 equals 0. So we have 11x plus 60 equals 0, which will give us x equals negative 60 over 11. this cannot be the answer because the answer should be a positive number. So the other answer will be x minus 50 equals 0, so x equals 50. So this should be the answer. So 50 miles per hour for going, and 10 miles per hour more than that for coming back, so 60 miles per hour for coming back. The base of a triangular sign is 5 feet less than 3 times the height. Find the base and the height if the area of the triangle is 25 square feet. So let base be x, the height be x. Then the base will be 3 times the height minus 5. So the area of triangle is given by a half times the h times b. So 1/2 times the height, which is x, times b. 3x minus 5 equals 25. So now we're going to solve the equation. So by multiplying 2 on both sides, we can eliminate 2. So x times 3x minus 5 equals 50. So 3x squared minus 5x minus 50 equals 0. And we can factor this as 3x plus 10 times x minus 5 equals 0. So 3x plus 10 equals 0. So 3x equals negative 10. So the x equals negative 10/3. Now this cannot be the answer since the answer must be positive. So the other factor will give us x minus 5 equals 0, which will give us x equals 5 feet. So the height is 5 feet. And the base is 3 times the height, which is 5, minus 5. That will give us 10 feet. What is a 1-to-1 function? A 1-to-1 function is a function for which every element of the range, which is y, of the function corresponds to exactly one element of the domain. Find the inverse of the function f(n) of x equals x cubed minus 5 and find f composite of f inverse. First, we're going to rewrite the function as y equals x cubed minus 5. Then we're going to switch the x and y, so we have x equals y cubed minus 5. Then we're going to solve the equation for y to get the inverse. So by adding 5 to both sides, we get x plus 5 equals y cubed. The cube roots on both sides, we have cube root of x plus 5 equals y. So the answer will be f inverse of x equals the cube root of x plus 5. Now we're going to find f composite of f function. So f function is x cubed minus 5, and f negative 1 is cube root of x plus 5. So we have the cube root of x plus 5 cubed minus 5. So the cube root and exponents of 3 cancel out. So we have x plus 5 minus 5. So the answer is x. Find the inverse of the function f of x equals 2x minus 7 and find f composite of f inverse. First, we're going to change f of x to y. So we have y equals 2x minus 7. Then we're going to exchange the x and the y. So we have x equals 2y minus 7. And then we're going to solve for y. By adding 7 on both sides, we have x plus 7 equals 2y. And then divide both sides by 2. We have y equals x plus 7 over 2. So the answer is f inverse of x equals x plus 7 over 2. Now, to find f composite of f inverse, we're going to substitute the inverse into 2x minus 7. So by canceling 2 and 2, we have x plus 7 minus 7. So the answer will be x. Graph y equals 3 to the x and y equals log base 3x. First, we're going to graph y equals 3 to the x. We're going to choose 5 points for x and find corresponding y's to plot the points to graph the function. So, for example, we can choose negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2 for x, and we find the corresponding y. So 3 to the negative 2 is 1 over 9, and 3 to the negative 1 equals 1/3. 3 to the 0th power is 1. 3 to the 1st power is 3. 3 squared equals 9. So when x equals negative 2, y equals 1/9, and 3 equals negative 1, 1/3. When x equals 0, y is 1. X equals 1, y is 3. And x equals 2, y is 9, so way up here. So basically the graph looks like this. And notice that the graph never touches the x-axis. Now for y equals log base 3x, you can choose x. You can choose points for x and find y to plot points. So for example, when x equals 1, log base 3, 1 will be 0. So the y equals 0. And if x equals 3, then log base 3, 3 will be 1. And when x equals 1/3, then log base 3, 1/3 will be log base 3, 3 to the negative 1, so it will be negative 1. So 3 points are enough. So try to choose y's points for x so that we can have integers for y, not fractions. So we have when x equals 1, y is 0. And x is 3, y is 1. And when x is 1/3, y is negative 1. So the graph will look like this. Write the equation in logarithmic form. Note that if you have a to the bth power equals c in exponential form, that could be written as log base a c equals b. So 2 cubed equals 8 could be written as log base a, which is 2, of c, which is 8, equals b, which is 3 in this case. So that's the answer. Write the equation in logarithmic form. A to the b equals c in exponential form is written as log base ac equals b in log form. So 5 to the negative 3 equals 1 over 125 is written as log base a, which is 5, c, which is 1 over 125, equals b, which is negative 3. Write the equation in logarithmic form. A to the bth power equals c in exponential function is written as log ac equals b in log form. So here we have x to the 4th equals z, so that could be written as log a, which is x, c, which is z, equals b, which is 4.